After the deaths of Osman II and Mustafa Tamim, Sultan Murad became the 17th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire in Istanbul. Before his coronation, he went to the Eyüp Sultan Mosque, where the sword of Osman Gazi was tied to his waist, and on September 10, 1623 AD, Sultan Murad IV was crowned at the age of 12. Sultan Murad IV was born in Istanbul on July 26, 1609. His childhood days were spent in considerable anticipation. His father, Sultan Ahmed Vafapaza, passed away at a young age, pause after which commotions and rebellions for the throne had begun in full force, especially when his elder brother Osman II was brutally murdered by the Janissary army as a result of a rebellion. All these events occurred during his early childhood. Upon the death of Sultan Osman II, Kara Davud Pasha, through the rebel, sought to have all of Osman II's brothers assassinated, but Kösem Sultan managed to save them all. Even Sultan Murad's early childhood days were constantly overshadowed by the fear of death. However, even at such a tender age, Sultan Murad demonstrated a remarkable strength of will. This made the ministers realize that the reins of the Sultanate had now fallen into the hands of a ruler who would eliminate all the disorganization within the empire through sheer force. A Turkish Sufi saint's account states, he writes that following his ascension to the throne, when Sultan Murad entered the royal treasury, my father, Darvesh Muhammad, was present with Sultan Murad at that very moment. Within the treasury, absolutely nothing remained within the gold or silver containers, merely 20,000 piastres, which were small silver coins, and within the cupboards, only a few pieces of coral and some Chinese porcelain dishes were left. Sultan Murad prostrated himself in gratitude and then declared, God willing, I shall replenish this treasury entirely from the estates of those very individuals who dared to plunder it. The governance of Sultan Murad's empire during his tender years was initially entrusted to his mother, Kösem Sultan, a woman renowned for her exceptional wisdom. Sultana Valida's exceptional competence at this critical juncture proved immensely important and beneficial for the entire Sultanate. However, dark clouds of dangers and impending destruction were gathering everywhere. Disturbing and worrying news was constantly arriving from every corner of the Sultanate. The Iranian forces were victorious along the border. Baza Pasha, having successfully led his rebellion, had become the governor of Eshekuchak. The Lebanese people were openly engaged in revolt. The governors of Egypt and other provinces had also backed away from their allegiance. The governments of Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli had become fully independent. The Russian Cossacks' attacks and their devastation were not only continuing on the Black Sea shores, but they also entered the Bosphorus and began looting in areas adjacent to Constantinople. Even in the capital, the royal treasury was completely empty. The stores of ammunition and provisions were almost entirely exhausted. The common people were gripped by severe famine and starvation, and the army's rebellion, its insubordination and indiscipline had reached an alarming degree. Despite these challenging circumstances, with widespread chaos prevailing everywhere, and Murad's very own life was not safe from peril, the Queen Mother, Sultana Walida, through her wisdom and exceptional capability, not only managed to maintain the stability of the empire, but also gradually established her firm control over both the army and the ministers. Eventually, Murad, in the 9th year of his ascension to the throne, took the administration of government into his own hands, and then he began to eliminate with great severity all those evils that were destroying and ruining the empire. During the minority of Sultan Murad, Shah Abbas seized a prime opportunity to significantly expand his own empire. Indeed, Shah Abbas aimed to incorporate strategically important cities like Baghdad and Mosul into the Safavid realm by skillfully exploiting the internal turmoil within the Ottoman Empire. Even before Shah Abbas could launch his full-scale assault on Baghdad and achieve its conquest, a significant dispute had already broken out between Baghdad's governor and its chief of police. What actually transpired was that Bakir Aga, who served as Baghdad's chief of police at the time, murdered the regional governor and then personally seized complete control of the city himself. The Ottoman Empire dispatched Hafiz Pasha in response to this, and he then proceeded to besiege Baghdad. Bakir Aga extended an invitation to Shah Abbas, writing that if he were to be appointed as the governor of that region, he would willingly hand over the entire city to him. Shah Abbas readily accepted this condition and immediately set out with his army. In the meantime, Bakir Aga held this very conversation with Hafiz Pasha, following which Hafiz Pasha agreed to his terms. Consequently, in accordance with this treaty, the Turkish forces made their entry into Baghdad. Subsequently, Shah Abbas arrived in Baghdad and immediately laid siege to the city. However, a fierce siege persisted for a period of 3 months.